to the UFC yet. But, I mean, we
They might not even be allowed
to
watch it. They might be grounded from watching it. Their parents might not let them watch it.
Parents won't let them order it, right? $50
Possible. I mean, it's violent as hell, so.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it'd be, I don't know. We try to get them one at a time, one person at a time, get that crossover, you know what I mean? Plus
Grassroots, baby.
I mean, we're just not a wrestling show, you know what I mean? You got to cover UFC, cover gossip, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
All right.
The next fight was UFC 102. The next fight was Todd Duffy versus Tim Hague, which you mentioned earlier. 7-second knockout, fastest KO in UFC history. He hit him with a jab. Somehow that put the big boy down, and then he finished him with 1 or 2 big punches on the ground. That all happened in 7 seconds. So
7 seconds on the prelim card. Prelim. Some extra time, so they were able to air that on the live show.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first fight went 3 rounds. The second fight only went 21 seconds, so that they had so much extra time because of that one, I think. So they just threw that in the middle. Usually they save the prelims for the end but no, that's right. The main event wasn't 5 rounds, so there was no way it was going over tonight or that night.
Right.
The next fight after that was Keith Jardine versus Thiago Silva. I think this is the first fight we got. No, we didn't have the leave-in fight right either. This is the first fight. The second fight we got wrong. Yeah, because Silva won with a knockout, 135 of round 1, which at any other show that would be considered a very fast knockout. At this show, it was the 3rd fastest knockout in the show. So, but it was Jardine started pretty good. I mean, he landed 1 or 2 good punches. He had some mean leg kicks, and then he threw a body kick, and Silva took him down off the body kick, and Jardine got back up. But as soon as he got up, Silva knocked him down and hit him with some ground and pound, and that was it. He was unconscious.
I like Jardine, too, you know what I mean? Came off wins against Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, I think was the other one, you know what I mean? And then came, and I mean, Thiago Silva's no joke, you know what I'm saying? We saw him versus Machida at UFC 94, I believe it was, in Las Vegas. And always been a big fan of Jardine. So, I hate to see him lose in that fashion.
Can you believe
what does this do for Thiago Silva? What happens to him now?
Oh, he's right back in the mix. I mean, I always thought he was overrated. I thought this was going to be the fight he was exposed, and I was dead wrong on that. I guess he is the real deal, you know what I mean? He's right back in the mix because he was undefeated before the Lyoto fight. So he's only lost once, and that was to one of the best pound-for-pound fighters and the current champion of that division in the game. So, I mean, yeah, he's right back in there. Keith Jardine, that's a tough loss for him because now that's 2 in a row. He just lost a close fight to Rampage, and now this, And before that, before the Rampage fight, I could swear his fight right before that was when he got knocked out in like 10 seconds by Vanderlei Silva. So, yeah, he's having a bad string of luck now. But, yeah, for Silva, he's definitely moving onward and upward. And the next fight was Aaron Simpson versus Ed Herman. This was a prelim. This was probably one of the better fights on the show, too. I won't run down everything that happened. I did have a lot of notes on this one because I thought it was a great fight. But Aaron Simpson was just dominating Ed Herman. Who was another local guy in Portland, Ed Herman, and Simpson just beat the shit out of him. And the fight ended, actually at the end of the first round, Herman hurt his leg, I mean, to the point where I don't know how he came out for the second round. I mean, he wasn't only limping. I mean, he was almost dragging his dead carcass on the ground because he couldn't walk on that one bad leg at all. And then he comes out for the second round, and then, what was it? Within seconds.
I mean, within seconds in the second round, I mean, he just dropped and grabbed the knee. What was it, a blown knee?
His knee blew out. I mean, they showed the replay, and you can see the stuff on his knee just moving around and shit and popping. It did not look good.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Simpson won that one, and then from there was our main event, Randy Couture versus Nogueira. And as I mentioned earlier, and I am going to brag about it, God damn it, because I was right, and you were right too, my friend. We are the only 2 reporters, I believe, on the Internet that picked Nogueira to beat Couture, which is surprising. I mean, I don't know why everybody was so confident in Randy Couture beating him. He is 46, but that has nothing to do with it because Couture looked great in that fight, if you're being honest. He was amazing. He had an amazing fight. Just better.
Joe Rogan at the end of the fight said, or maybe it was on commentary, said something like, "This is the old Nogueira that we're used to seeing." You know?
Yeah.
And this isn't the Nogueira that we've seen. I guess in the last 2 fights. I mean, what does he look shitty in the last 2 fights? Is that what
No, he looked bad in the Frank Mir fight. I mean, he looked awful in the Frank Mir fight, like terrible. I mean, he got dominated by Frank Mir in the stand-up and then knocked out, and he's never been knocked out before, and he's taking punches from Fedor. He's taking punches from Bob Sapp. He's taking head kicks from Mirko Krokop. Remember, Heath Herring dropped him in UFC in his debut. This is the guy that does not get knocked out, and then Frank Mir, the submission guy, knocked him out with ease. I think everybody just assumed he was washed up, and a lot of times fighters, when they go and they have a lot of wars, like you've seen it with Vanderlei Silva now, and Chuck Liddell's a perfect example, I think, probably a better example. after a long time, eventually they're not there. They don't have it anymore. They get old in one fight, and Chuck Liddell got old in like 3 fights because he was getting knocked out every time he went out there the last few times.
But he's facing good people, you know. That's the thing that I don't understand about it. I mean, you're going in there. I mean, it's a fight, and you're facing people that aren't just jobbers, that aren't just walkover people. So to say that he's done, you know, and I think it's way too early for Chuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he hasn't called a retirement yet. He hasn't said anything about it. Dana's the one that's saying, Chuck, you're retired. You're not fighting again. Da-da-da-da-da. Chuck hasn't even made an official decision on that.
Actually, I got a little scoop I can give you on that. During the show, UFC 102, because Chuck Liddell's busy training for Dancing with the Stars. He's going to be on that show. During the show.
See the photos of that? There's some photos.
Is there?
No, I didn't. Yes. Oh, dude, I got to show you. It's hilarious.
Yeah, send me those. Chuck Liddell was text messaging Dana White in the arena all night saying, I want to fight, I want to fight, I want to fight, and I want the winner, blah, 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 blah. I want to fight Randy again. I want to fight Tito again. He wants back. So he wants to fight. I mean, he might be 40 by now. He's definitely late 30s. He's older than people think. And,
right. Okay, so why does Randy at the age of 46, right? Randy continues on, da-da-da-da-da. Chuck loses a few fights, and all of a sudden now he's done?
Well,
at
look at how he lost the fights. He's fighting good people, true. But against Shogun, that would the real Chuck from back in the day would not have been knocked out by that punch. He would have been knocked down, but he wouldn't have been out because Chuck was always known for having a good. I mean, you could knock him down or hurt him, but he'll come back. In the last few fights, he was getting knocked out and not coming back. Like Rampage knocked him out. Keith Jardine was knocking him down. Vanderlei Silva was knocking him down.
I mean, Keith Jardine I'll give you, but I mean, Rampage, come on. You know what
Shogun
I'm
and there's one I'm forgetting. Who the hell was the other one that knocked him out that shouldn't have? I can't remember. Son of a bitch. But Randy Couture, I mean, he's given Brock his toughest fight. That's Brock. And Randy's a little guy. He was 220 in the cage this past Saturday night. He's fighting Brock Lesnar, who's got to cut weight to make 265, which is the limit. And he gave him his best fight. Nobody's had that good of a fight against Brock. Against Nogueira won very soundly, but Couture looked great. Nogueira was knocking him down, couldn't knock him out, had him in submissions, couldn't finish him, and he's the best submission heavyweight in the world, Nogueira. So Randy's still, I mean, he's just a freak of nature athlete. When you say 46, that is just a number when it comes to Couture. That dude's scary talented, scary athletic, and he's still got another year or two at least of fighting in him. And in fact, he signed a new contract because this was going to be, he had one fight left on his contract going into this fight. And he signed a new contract right before the fight, a 28-month deal for 6 fights. I mean, a 46-year-old guy just signed on for 6 more fights, which, you know, that doesn't guarantee he's going to fight 6 more times, but still, that's insane when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, dude, he's a tough bitch. I mean, there were a few times during the fight with Nogueira that I thought, oh, man, he's done. You know what I mean? I mean, there was at least one time when Nogueira dropped him. Couture went straight on his back, and then Nogueira went in for the to get on top of him, man, and Couture was still hanging in there. You know what I mean? And I thought he was done.
Here's some notes. Right. Before the fight, it looked like Nogueira was limping during his ring walk, but I guess that's nothing because he looked great in the fight. Couture, they're saying at the press conference it was the biggest pop in UFC history. There's never been anything even close to the pop that he got tonight. And it wasn't even a sold-out building, which is a rare thing for UFC, too. And they're saying that was the largest pop ever for anybody. And I just wanted to mention this, too. I saw a sign some fan had that said, I came from Canada to see Captain America, which is Randy Couture. It's just funny. He's from Canada, and he came to see Captain America. But round one, crazy round. Nogueira drops him early. He put him in a Darce choke. It looked close, but it was on the side of the neck. Randy was hitting him back with some great shots. It was just a great round. Round two was much the same. Nogueira dropped him and, had an arm triangle on him but couldn't finish him. Round three, dropped him. And Randy reversed with 130 remaining in the round, but he didn't do anything. So, he lost the decision. 30-27 on 2 judges' scorecards, which means they gave Nogueira every round. And then 29-28 on another judge's card, which is means he won 1 round. So, that was the Randy Couture Nogueira fight.
I gave Randy the first round, and that was about it, at least on my scorecards. But, I mean, good show overall. We both gave it an A for a school letter grade.
Definitely.
The next one, I believe, is on Spike TV, if I'm not mistaken. There's some sort of live show or something like that. September what is it, September?
Talking about the fight night?
Yeah, is that what it is?
September 16th. Yeah, September 16th.
All right. So yeah, and then I believe there's a pay-per-view. I think the fight night is the 16th, and then I think there's a pay-per-view on the 19th.
Yeah, because the reality show starts too, with Kimbo and Rampage and Rashad and all that.
Right, that's coming up when? September? Yeah, because the Sweet.
It's September 16th. Both UFC Fight Night and the Ultimate Fighter debuts on September 16th.
All right.
Yep. One other thing I wanted to mention from the UFC at the Nogueira at the pre-fight press conference, post-fight press conference, post-fight interview in the cage, kept calling Randy Couture Handy because in Brazil and in Portuguese, I guess R's are pronounced as H. Hoist Gracie and stuff like that. So he kept calling him Handy. I just thought that was funny.
All right, that was UFC 102 from Handy. Whatever, dude.
Come on, man. You didn't notice that?
No,
Handy's a legend.
I didn't watch the UFC post-fight conference. What do I do?
In the cage after the fight, he was talking about, Handy's a legend. I know he's from Portland. You love Handy here, and I love Handy too.
Jesus. We're like 12:30, about 18 beers deep at that point. All right. But yeah, so that was UFC 102 from this past Saturday night. We ran down Monday Night Raw. I do want to take some live phone calls. We got to talk about Rey Mysterio, the big suspension from last week. Christopher Daniels was arrested last Friday after a drinking contest with Shane Hurricane Helms for WWE, which is interesting. Some good Twitter banter back and forth, which has since been removed from their Twitter account. But we're going to talk about that. Live phone calls, chat shout-outs here in just a few minutes as well. We got about 15 minutes left. I guess we don't have a lot of phone calls tonight, or they just all hung up on us before we were able to get to them. But we have Swax1 from the chat room, I believe. Yes, Swax1, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up? Swax from the chat room. Swax1. Earth to Swax1.
What's going on?
Oh, well.
What's going on?
He's talking right now. He said, what's going on underwater?
Swax1, what's up? You're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Not much. I just want to talk about Raw and how all these hosts every week don't make the matches interesting. It's just a bunch of bullshit. They should make like wrestling hosts instead of celebrities because
I don't mean to cut you off, but is this your real voice or is there a problem with the telephone? You sound weird, man. You're coming.
He sounds like Kane with the voice box up to his throat. Remember that gimmick?
Some sort of voice box. Are you using a voice box?
No, I'm using the online talk shoe, the shoe phone.
Oh, all right.
So you don't have throat cancer. Okay.
No. All right, so, no, my bad, man. I didn't mean to...
No, he's talking about the guest hosts, and he said they don't add nothing to the matches and things like that. So, I mean, we pretty much talked about Raw pretty thoroughly. I don't know. Do you have anything to add, Ryan?
Well, I mean, as far as the guests, they don't add anything to the matches? Like, they don't make matches? Or what?
They take away from the show more than add to it? Is that what you're kind of saying?
I'm asking Swax.
That's what I'm asking.
The hosts, all they do is they make these special matches. They don't make like hardcore matches. They have no idea. I don't know if because they're the ones actually booking them matches backstage, or Vince is letting them do whatever the hell they want. But this whole Raw just plain sucks when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, Raw has just been horrible. I mean, the reason they do it, obviously, is to try to get the media attention from the TMZs or the Perez Hiltons, just the gossip websites when they bring
newspapers.
When they bring in celebrities like that, you know what I mean? Of course, all the matches are booked in creative team meetings, but I mean, does it add life? It's something different, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not the same stuff on a weekly basis, and if they get the media attention like they did with Shaq and The Big Show when they did that stare down on Monday Night Raw, I mean, they got the goal accomplished, you know what I'm saying, as far as it comes to guest hosts. So, I don't know.
What's bad is the ratings, if you look at it, because it probably justifies it to WWE as far as celebrities instead of wrestlers, because just out of coincidence, when Sergeant Slaughter hosted the show, the last wrestler to host it, the rating went down. When Dusty hosted it, it went down because last night's rating was,